Discipline is what you must have to resist the lure of excuses. For whatever goal you want to achieve, there is discomfort along that path. Self-discipline drives you through this discomfort and allows you to achieve and attain. It's an essential component of mastery, and nothing great was ever accomplished without it. Discipline not just determines success, but determines how long you can stay successful. There are 999 other success principles that I have found in my reading and experience, but without self-discipline, none of them work. With self-discipline, they all work. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The fact is, self-discipline is only punishment when imposed by someone else. When you discipline yourself, it's not punishment, but empowerment. Why is discipline important? Discipline teaches us to operate by principle rather than desire, saying no to our impulses, even the ones that are not inherently sinful, puts us in control of our appetites rather than vice versa. It deposes our lust and permits truth, virtue, and integrity to rule our minds instead. Seek freedom and become captive of your desires. Seek discipline and find your liberty. In the 21st century, survival of the fittest means survival of the focused. Whether our action is wholesome or unwholesome depends on whether that action or deed arises from a disciplined or undisciplined state of mind. It is felt that a disciplined mind leads to happiness, and an undisciplined mind leads to suffering. Only disciplined ones are purely free in life, and indisciplined are slaves to their moods and passions. Through self-discipline comes freedom. True freedom is impossible without a mind made free by discipline. The foundation of a strong self comes from small acts of daily discipline. Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. If you don't control what you think, you cannot control what you do. Simply, self-discipline allows you to think first and act afterwards. Self-discipline is an act of cultivation. It requires you to connect today's actions to tomorrow's results. It is ordained in the eternal constitution of things that men of intemperate minds cannot be free. Their passions forge their fetters. Without goals and aspirations, discipline is going to feel like pointless suffering. Therefore, our lapses in discipline often come when we aren't connected to our goals. I think self-discipline is something. It's like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. Self-respect is the root of discipline. The sense of dignity grows with the ability to say no to oneself. You must develop the discipline to think right. It will give you the discipline to act right. Each act of self-discipline strengthens every other act of self-discipline. Every act of persistence strengthens every other act of persistence. When you discipline yourself to persist over and over, you become stronger and more confident. Eventually, you become unstoppable. When you're making decisions, which time frame do you tend to focus on? Do you find yourself thinking only of the pleasures a decision will afford you in the present, or of the consequences an action will have on your future self? Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievement gained slowly over time. Self-discipline is a self-enlarging process. We do not have to be smarter than the rest. We have to be more disciplined than the rest. You must be disciplined in thought, word, and deed. Consciously train yourself to do those things that are good for you. We must all suffer one of two things: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret and disappointment. You cannot aim yourself at anything if you are completely undisciplined and untutored. Self-discipline is self-caring. You can make excuses or you can make progress. You choose. One half of life is luck. The other half is discipline, and that's the important half, for without discipline you wouldn't know what to do with luck. Discipline and freedom are not mutually exclusive, but mutually dependent, because without discipline we would sink into chaos. He who cannot obey himself will be commanded, and that is the nature of living creatures. Never believe a promise from a man or woman who has no discipline. They have broken 1,000 promises to themselves, and they break their promise for you.